Hello everybody, welcome back to SheffPlays Zombie Critique, and in today's video we are going over Black Ops 4 overall, where we give all the ratings for each map, talk about them a little bit, and then give the total overall score, and then close it out. So, starting off with Village Voyage of Despair. This map's not too bad, I think it's a cool setting, cool premise, but ultimately the execution felt a little lacking. Felt like the ship wasn't as massive as they let it to be in like all the trailers and everything. So yeah, overall, this map got a 7.5 out of 10. 9 was a map that I recommended pretty highly if you're looking for camo grinding, and again, really cool setting. I really like the intro of it, and I feel like this map stands out quite a bit in this game. And overall, I gave this one an 8 out of 10. And I definitely do recommend it, like I said, especially if you're still grinding for camos, which no shame in, I'm still doing, so yeah, this one's an 8 out of 10. Blood of the Dead was an obvious win for me. If you saw the Black Ops 2 videos, you know that Mob of the Dead is my favorite map of all time, and this one feels really nice. It pays homage, it adds a couple areas, but for the most part is pretty true to form, and the areas it does add aren't like game breaking. It doesn't feel like a whole new map. It feels pretty true to the original, and I do appreciate that because the remakes as they went on tried to do more and more with them, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just not, my preferred choice. And this map, I gave it 10 out of 10, and I felt bad while rating it. I do remember that, but like, they're my ratings, so I guess bias doesn't really matter. But yeah, I cannot recommend this one enough. Classified isn't bad. It's a decent map, a decent remake, and it's pretty close to how Blood of the Dead was, where they added a couple new areas, changed a few things, but it's not like drastic overhaul. But it does have a little things that I don't enjoy. Like, I think it's cool that No Man's Land is where the Pack-a-Punch is, but or is it Griffin Station? I can never remember, but either way, that I kind of wish they'd still kept it in the conference room. And there's no Pentagon Thief, which felt like a staple in the original, so it's not bad. Those are the only two things I really didn't like about it. So it got an 8.5 out of 10. Dead of the Night is a map that I am not particularly like favorited for. I'm not sure how to word that, but it's definitely not up there for me. It's got some things that really don't do well for it, like the vampires especially, which you can see are absolutely just taking me down on this one. They just, every time they hit you, your health stops regenerating for a little bit, and it can be really annoying, especially in crowded areas of the map. But, I mean, setting-wise, it was really cool. Haunted house, werewolves, vampires, it's like, it's different. But, yeah, no, this one got a 6 out of 10. Next up, we have Ancient Evil, which I was very, very honest about this being like my favorite Chaos map. This one is very different and very cool. I know they wanted one more in there, but this was all they got, and it really is my favorite. Like, when I do play Chaos maps besides 9 for camos, if I'm just playing Chaos because I want to play a Chaos map, this is generally my go-to. I enjoy this one a ton, and like I do recommend it if you do have it or you haven't played it, because it is cool. Like I've said in a comment that like if you don't have it, don't go out of your way to buy it, because Chaos maps do change a lot and like from a standard formula. But if you do want to play it, it's definitely worth the pickup. I enjoy it a ton, and I wouldn't be mad if we got a remake without all the gimmicks like the Blight Father and the Catalysts. And this one ended up getting a 9 out of 10. Alpha Omega was a really cool map, and really did feel like things were coming to an end with this one, where you have 8 different playable characters. It's, remake of the classic Nuketown, but it does do enough where it starts to feel less like a remake and more like there's a callback in the map to the original. And I don't know, I really like it. The wonder weapons being that 4 elemental ray guns is really cool. They're not particularly hard to get, and to upgrade them you just pack a punch, which was really nice. And you can swap between them. You can't have 2 at once though still, which, I understand, but I wish you could have. But overall, this map got an 8.5 out of 10. last but not least was Tag Duran Toten. And this map really is a ton of fun. I do enjoy this one. I go back to this one just as much as I do Mob and Ancient or Blood of the Dead and Ancient Evil. And I don't know, I really like the setting. And it did the same thing Alpha Omega did, where it does more feel like its own map with just callbacks to the classic rather than a remake based on that map. But you get the Victus crew again, which is really cool. The Golden Pack-a-Punch. Like, it's just, and the lighting in this map is, like, impeccable. I love the look of this map. And overall, this one got a 9. Adding those up and doing the average, this game got an 8.5 across all the maps. And, you know what, I think that's fair. I really do enjoy this. I remember saying this in the intro video for these maps, that I think this one gets a lot of flack because it tried to do a ton of things differently. And definitely some did fail, they did flop, I'll admit that, but I think overall it's really not too bad and doesn't really deserve the amount of hate that it gets. It never hurts to try something different, and in this case I guess it might have a little bit, but it was a cool thing, and now we have this experiment to be like, okay, maybe this is what zombies could have been or might have been going further, but as we'll know when we get to Cold War, that's not the case, because that is the game that's next, still figuring out how I'm going to tackle it. But until then, hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. Until the next one, I'll keep surviving. And again, Cold War is a whole beast with a whole ton of modes that I'm still breaking down how I'm going to go over all of it. But I guess we'll figure that out when we do it. See ya.